viewers around the world first discovered her voice in a moment that felt almost unreal. But the story of how she reached that stage begins years earlier, far from the bright lights of American television. Long before stepping onto the U.S. stage, Emanne Beasha was already known in pockets of the Middle East as a rare young talent. Born in Amman, Jordan, to a Jordanian father and an American mother, her upbringing blended cultures in a way that shaped not only her identity, but the tone and precision of her developing voice. Her family recalls discovering her talent when she was barely a toddler, but it wasn't until the age of 6 that she began singing Italian arias with a maturity that puzzled vocal coaches. Local performances soon turned into national appearances, and by the age of 8, she stunned viewers across the Arab world by competing in, and ultimately winning, Arab's Got Talent. That victory didn't simply launch a career. It marked her as the youngest recipient of Jordan's prestigious Medal of Merit, awarded directly by King Abdullah II. While most children her age were learning multiplication tables, she was navigating both early fame and the expectations placed on a prodigy. Yet beneath the formality of ceremonies and interviews, she remained grounded in a childhood split between music rehearsals and typical kid activities. Her early rise stood as a telling sign. Something bigger was coming, and soon the global spotlight would shift toward a stage thousands of miles away, where her voice would silence an entire audience. When a quiet 10-year-old walked onto the AGT stage in 2019, no one expected the room to freeze within seconds. Emanne's first appearance on America's Got Talent became one of the season's defining moments, not because she walked out with confidence, but because she approached the microphone with the unassuming calm of a child who seemed unaware of the magnitude of the stage beneath her feet. When the music began, and she delivered the opening line of Nessun Dorma, reactions shifted instantly. What viewers saw was not the typical young singer audition. Instead, her voice carried an operatic clarity associated with seasoned performers many decades older, and it took only moments for judges and audience members to exchange glances that suggested they had stumbled onto something rare. The performance drew a standing ovation that seemed to erupt before the final note even landed. Judges praised her technical precision, breath control, and emotional delivery, attributes that opera professionals spend years mastering. Her audition video traveled quickly across social media, accumulating millions of views in days and positioning her as one of the most talked-about contestants that season. And while the moment felt explosive, it was only the first step in a narrative that would escalate far beyond a strong debut. The competition had officially begun, and expectations for what she might deliver next were rising fast. If her audition introduced her to America, her Judge Cut's performance cemented her as a genuine phenomenon. During the Judge Cut's round, the pressure intensified. Acts at this stage typically fight to prove they belong in the competition, yet Emanne appeared once again with the same steady presence she displayed during her audition. This time, she chose the emotionally charged song Caruso, a selection that many seasoned vocalists approach cautiously due to its demanding range. The reaction from the panel was immediate. As she reached the song's peak, camera shots captured jaws dropping across the theater. Guest judge Jay Leno, present for that episode, appeared unusually moved. Moments after she finished, he hit the golden buzzer, instantly fast-tracking her to the live shows and sending the theater into celebration. News outlets reported on the milestone. She became the only performer to receive top honors in both the Arab and U.S. versions of the franchise. The recognition wasn't merely symbolic. It highlighted the universal appeal of a voice able to transcend geography, language, and age. But behind the applause and headlines, the pressure was mounting. And as she advanced, the competition tightened around her, setting the stage for a finale that would surprise many. Going into the finale, many viewers believed Emanne was on track to win the entire competition, but the night unfolded differently than predicted. Her final performance paired her with world-renowned pianist Lang Lang, a collaboration that signaled how seriously the show viewed her abilities. The staging was minimalist, allowing her voice to take center focus. She carried the same emotional steadiness she had been praised for in earlier rounds, but this time with a confidence that suggested she had fully settled into the spotlight. Fans flooded social media with predictions and support, expressing certainty that she would secure the top spot. Yet when the results were announced, the outcome shocked a large portion of the viewing audience. She placed ninth. The reaction ranged from confusion to disappointment, with commentators questioning voting patterns and audience expectations. Still, the placement did nothing to diminish the broader impression she left on the season. Many analysts noted that AGT titles don't always reflect long-term success, citing past contenders who went on to build prominent careers despite not winning. For Emanne, the finale marked not an ending, but the beginning of a new chapter, one defined not by rankings, but by the momentum she carried out of the competition. Behind the headlines, Emanne's life looked radically different from what viewers assumed. While the world viewed her as a rising opera prodigy, her day-to-day life remained rooted in ordinary childhood routines. She split her time between family life, vocal lessons, and simple hobbies like playing with her dogs or spending afternoons outdoors. Behind the scenes, however, she navigated a unique challenge, maintaining her identity as both a child and a performer taken seriously in a field dominated by adults. Interviews from the time revealed she was occasionally nervous, especially before performing for strict judges like Simon Cowell, but those nerves rarely showed on stage. Her multicultural background added another layer to her public perception. Reporters often highlighted her Jordanian-American heritage, noting how seamlessly she blended influences from both sides of her upbringing. Coaches described her as unusually disciplined for her age, managing demanding vocal training while still prioritizing schoolwork and family. The duality made her story compelling, not only because of her voice, but because of how she managed to remain grounded while navigating global attention. And as the spotlight followed her beyond the AGT stage, new questions surfaced about what direction she would take next. Years after her AGT season, the biggest question surrounding Emanne Beasha is simple: what comes next for a voice this rare? Following her run on the show, Emanne continued performing at select events, though she shifted away from constant mainstream exposure. Her online presence remains active but measured, suggesting a deliberate approach to shaping her future rather than rushing into industry demands. Reporters tracking her progress note that she has shown interest in both classical and crossover styles, leaving open the possibility of a career that blends opera with contemporary elements. Without major controversies or public conflicts, her narrative remains refreshingly focused on artistry rather than spectacle. Speculation persists about the path she may choose, whether she will pursue formal conservatory training, step into commercial music, or carve out a hybrid lane that highlights her operatic roots. For now, she stands at a rare intersection of possibility, equipped with a voice capable of commanding global attention, yet supported by a family intent on preserving her childhood. And as discussions continue among fans and music analysts, the common thread is clear: her potential remains extraordinary. Emanne Beasha's journey, from Jordan to international stages, from child prodigy to AGT standout, continues to draw interest because it represents more than one remarkable performance. It reflects the power of talent combined with humility, discipline, and cultural depth. Her iconic audition left viewers silent, her golden buzzer moment electrified millions, and her finale raised questions that still linger. Whether she becomes a defining opera figure of her generation or surprises audiences with an entirely new musical direction, one thing remains certain: her voice, and the story behind it, will continue to resonate for years.